You know, it was tough. I was tough the other day, and tough pill to swallow. You know, when you have goals, and you have standards for yourself, and I mean that for us as a team collectively, and you fail to reach those, man, it hurts. And but ultimately, man, we failed. We failed in that game. We had a hell of a season, and we overcame a lot of adversity. Guys, a ton of guys, man, that we needed to rely on and did, and got us in that position. We got to where we wanted to get to, and then we did not perform. And man, credit Washington. They did what they needed to do, and they played a good game. But when on ours, a little bit for us, when you feel like, hey, you got to bring your A game. I think if we bring our B game, we got a chance to win that game, and we didn't bring that. So, that's just a little bit of that's the frustration. I know everybody's frustrated. I know the fans are, certainly our team, coaches, everybody in the organization. So, that being said, I'm real proud of these guys. I am. I'm proud of them because I know the fight they've got in them, and I know what they're made of, and the amount of things that they did overcome speaks volumes. So, as I said in the loss, everybody's got a hand in that. Everybody's got a hand, including me. And so, we definitely did that together. We earned that loss together. But listen, all we can do is move forward, man. You brush yourself off. I've already gone through the loss of a family member feeling, to anger yesterday, to now I'm back on my feet ready to roll. And I've acknowledged, I can look in the mirror and say, you know what, you failed, man. What are you gonna do about it? So that's where we're at, and move forward, man. Questions?
Yo, the lies so that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, hands open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like Lions was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose what I get to, never lose, move on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we running it, maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision that pay me, it's never the sway me. Indigenous, maybe we winning this crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. It's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. It's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. It's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.
All right, let's get this thing tried. Number two. Try number two. Try number two. Let's see if we're in here yet. I don't know. Looks like I am. Looks like I'm getting some stuff in here. All right, I got to reload, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. I had to reboot the computer. And here we go. Right here. This is the Lion Villain Report right here. And this is the offseason starts early, just like I said right there. And we were going over some Dan Campbell right there. Did you guys get to hear the Dan Campbell that was in there? Because I can start that over because we're going to be doing that. So what I was reading right there, I got to get my stuff back out. The Lions squander a chance to get to the Super Bowl. Did the Lion coaching interviews affect the game plan for the divisional round? And we're going to also go over the entire game on this episode of the Lion Villain Report.
Hey, yo, the lies so that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, hands open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like Lions was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose when I get to, never lose smooth on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we running it, maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision that pay me, it's never to sway me. Indigenous, maybe we winning this crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, this your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, this your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, this your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome one. Welcome. All right, we'll do it like that. Holy crap, my stuff is going crazy today. Wow. All right, welcome one, welcome all, ladies and gentlemen, to this crow-eating edition. The football gods are against me today. What a disappointing loss right there. My crow-eating edition. I got to come on here right now, and I'm going to tell you right now, before I go into this, we're going to be going over, did the Lions squander a chance to go win the Super Bowl? I mean, is this the only chance? I want to know what your opinions are. I know that we got some rival fans in here that get to say this. They get to come in here. I get to eat this crow. I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something that our rival fans don't do. When we've kicked your ass all year long, none of them come in here and say, like, the good game or anything like that, and come in and eat the crow and say, hey, I talked all that crap. And we did. I came in here. I had a big old, chest puffed out. And I said the Lions were going to go in and take care of business and host an NFC championship game. And 5 turnovers later, they go in there, and the Commanders come into our house. I got to eat this crow. My off-season starts early. You know how much I enjoy doing this live stuff, and now I don't get to do this live stuff as much anymore because we go into the off-season. We're going into the off-season, and here we are. I got to eat this crow. Lions lose 45-31. to the Washington Commanders. And there's no excuse. There's no ref blaming. There's no nothing. They came in. They outplayed us in the divisional round. Jaden Daniels is him. He came in, took care of business. Jaden Daniels. He comes in. Let me share this. I gotta get my. They made me. I had everything all ready for the show, and then I had to reboot the computer. All right. Sorry about that. Yeah. So yeah, Jaden Daniels, 22 for 31 for 299 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He's awesome. He was awesome. Brian Robertson on the ground, 15 carries, 77 yards. Jaden Daniels added 52 yards. Austin Eckler with 47 big yards. De'Ami Brown, 6 receptions, 98 yards. Terry McLaurin, 4 big receptions for 87 yards. You know, you got to get it done. You got to get it done, and they did not get it done right there. Now, the Lions looked like they could move the ball, but then they'd get down there. You can't turn the ball over. I felt like the strength of the team is where they got the advantage on us. So I got to eat this crow. I thought we were going to take care of business, and here we are. First round out, just like the rest of the NFC North. Now we got to go reload. And we got to go reload and start over. But not completely start over, but I got to eat that crow. I was wrong. You were right. They took care of the business right there. Let's see what the team stats were. Total yards. I could pull a full-on Packer and say, well, we outgained them. So, yeah, we're actually the better team. But no. Lions do outgain them in total yards, 521 to 481. Outgained them in the passing yards, 320 to 299. Outgained them in rushing yards, 201 to 182. Outgained him in yards per play. Had more first downs. And they were the ones that were the aggressors. Getting three crucial fourth downs that extended drives, game-changing plays right there. I mean, to actually say it, you know, people tell us that Dan Campbell's too aggressive. Well, Quinn's way more aggressive. They went for it 2 more times on 4th down, and that's what won them the game. I mean, can you imagine the complexion of those games if they didn't get those 4th downs? So, I mean, it literally is a game of inches when you're looking at the storyline. Right there, they got us in the time of possession. They were able to keep the Lions off of the field. So I give kudos to the Washington Commanders for having a good game plan. And they couldn't contain Daniels. Honestly, Jaden Daniels didn't really beat him all that much with his legs. The Lions were like, all right, man, we're going to keep you in that pocket. You ain't going to be running all over the place. Now you're going to have to throw the ball. And Jaden Daniels says, okay, no big deal. 22 for 31, 299, 2 touchdowns. Lions made him throw the ball, and he did. You know, I do want to go over more of this. I got to get this press conference up. But there's a couple things that he said that I really that I really like, because I do like the future of the Detroit Lions. So I want to get this thing. I'm going to share this tab instead. Boom.
Like we got players in every pivotal position you can ask for to have success, and those guys are made the right way. So absolutely, our window is up. Like we got players. Everybody's got a hand, including me, and so you know we definitely did that together. You know, we earned that loss together. But listen, all we can do is move forward. And you brush yourself off. I've already gone through the loss of a family member feeling, to anger yesterday, to now I'm back on my feet ready to roll. And I've acknowledged, I can look in the mirror and say, you know what, you failed, man. What are you going to do about it? So that's where we're at. And move forward, man. Questions?
Okay, so that's where I wanted to get that thing started right there. I do want to acknowledge everybody that is in the comments right here. And just to acknowledge everybody right here, let me get this in there, because I know that we're probably having full blown on fights in here with Bear fans and everything like that, but I want to acknowledge you guys first right there. Good morning, Henry Gray. Like Good morning, Dwayne. Good morning, Jeffrey Addison. Like Jay Smooth is up in the house. Like that. Dwayne's up in the house. Broski Bear's up in the house. Like this is your day, baby. This is your day. Bear down, Mike. It's kind of your day. You're not here enough for me to allow you to enjoy this as much, but Broski Bear's here all the time. You are the man. You are the man, and honestly, y'all really deserve it. You do all deserve it, because this is the crow eating edition. I'm eating my crow. Bear down, Mike. I'm eating my crow for you. Richard Green, I'm eating my crow. You can say that. You can say that. Jay Smooth, you can say that. You like that? Let me see who else we got. Dwayne in there. John. Now I'm good, right? Sorry about, we got the hear you now. Dwayne and Rick Gray said, dude, I appreciate you guys. This is one, you guys are the most awesome, live crowd ever. Because, I literally had to reboot my computer. That probably takes 2.5 minutes. You guys just waited on here with this average hip hop music going on in the background and just waited for me to come back. And I appreciate you guys. I mean, I can't believe 35 people were watching that. I appreciate you guys weathering the storm with me during all the technical difficulties. Chad's up in the house. Felicia's up in the house. Fred's up in the house. Jeremy B, Smoking Jeremy B is up. You like that? In the house. John Dorn. This is your day, baby. I acknowledge this. Eating my crow. We thought we were going to win, and we didn't win. Jimmy Hoffa, this is your day. You guys are, sitting on the sidelines, on the couch, watching the playoffs, just waiting for us to lose. I mean, it is kind of a pathetic existence to where, there you go. Good morning to everybody. I'm eating my crow. I got to eat my crow. We thought that we were big and bad. We thought we were going to the Super Bowl. And here we are. And here we are. They beat us. They beat us down. Jimmy Hoffa, can you all win with Goff under the new scheme right there? You guys throw it all at us. Even Sarah's in here. Sarah, resurrected from the dead. Yep, I'm eating. Yep. I'm here to let it happen. You deserve this. You deserve this, rival fans. You know, honestly, there you go, Jimmy Hoffa. Hey, I love it. Haters gonna hate. It lets me know. It's better than last year. Honestly, I love you guys. Honestly, this is what it's all about, man. This is your right as a football fan, right? There can only be one winner of the Super Bowl. I'm eating the crow. You know, there can only be one Super Bowl winner. We got beat down, man. We got beat down. There's no excuse for that. They made too many mistakes. You can't turn the ball over 5 times in a playoff game. I mean, come on.
Playoffs?
They gave them to that. They gave it to them. You can't, I mean, especially when you're driving down into the red zone when it comes down to that. So now that I got through to the question part right here, let's go over what Dan Campbell had to say, and we'll keep it moving forward.
This roster was constructed. We're putting a lot of the foundational pieces together to be here for the same amount of years. Do you feel like the Super Bowl window is still open for you guys going forward?
Yeah, I do, man. I think that's, we talk about that core group is still intact, and some of these guys are now, we've signed some back, some are up on contracts, and that'll be ongoing. But yeah, we absolutely do, and I think the most important thing is you want to know you got your culture, you got your identity, and you got players, and that fit into that, and we've got that. Like we got players in every pivotal position you can ask for to have success. And those guys are made the right way. So absolutely our window is open. It can't, right? It can't. Can't allow that to happen. That's my job, is to replenish and find the next man up and the guy who's going to give us the best chance to have success on both sides of the ball. So we're not going to allow that to happen. I'm not. Does it hurt to lose those guys? Absolutely. They're a part of what we've been here. I mean, they've been here for 4 years. They're one of the major reasons why we've been able to get to where we've been, man. We came out of the dump and got to where we're at. So, man, I will forever be grateful for those guys, and our team will. And is it a loss? Absolutely it'd be a loss. But yet, man, we move forward. This train rolls on, and I'll find the next best guys for us.
You want it to be seamless, that transition, if it happens. But, the Anthony Lynn thing didn't work. What did you learn from that situation? Making a change and finding the right guy. You have a lot of experience now, obviously.
Yeah, I think, let me start here from that. What do you learn? Okay. Man, I just need to make sure that I am heavily involved in however we go. Man, I am very offensive heavy, I think is the best way to say that. So certainly picking, I am picking that, but I need to have my checklist done. But then on top of that, I need to be part of the whole process. I need to be a part of the whole process. There was a number of things when that transition took place, hey, your offense, you call it, I'll have some things I want. And then I'm with Brad, because we're getting ready for the draft. I'm looking for players, free agency, blah, 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 blah. And so you kind of allow all those things to happen, and it's a blind spot. and it shouldn't be because that's my area of expertise, if you will. So I'm not going to allow that to happen. I'm going to be involved no matter what, because I think that's best for our offense. But also, golf. This thing is set up for golf to have success with our playmakers, St. Brown, our running backs, the O-line, the whole deal, J-Mo. And so I want to keep that in place. I want to keep our terminology in place. And I want to make sure that golf is comfortable because he's playing at a high level.
Yeah, right there. That's one of the things that you can really look forward to within the continuity of what we got. I mean, most of the offense is going to stay together, whether Ben Johnson's here or not. You're still got the same players. They're using the same terminology. I like that idea within there, and I really do believe they're going to promote from within. Next man up. They flow through that, and so far, next man up has also been through coaching. So that's what I gathered from right there. And they'll probably keep most of the band together. They'll probably re-sign Zeitler. I would think they would re-sign Zeitler. Mahogany looked like it. So most of the offensive line, everybody's come back next year. They're all signed. So at least offensively, you're not going to have to do much changing in the offseason.
I would expect to lose both, but I haven't been told anything. I've got a feeling, but I'm prepared to lose both. Yeah, I think it was just that combination. We just, it's there was one thing that happened in there that I think 2 weeks ago, Washington plays Tampa Bay, and Tampa is beginning to try to take control of that game. They're up 4 points, and they fumbled, and backed up territory, and then Washington gets it, and that really was, you having the ability to go up 2 scores, and all of a sudden, whoa, you're down. And that kind of happened to us on the first turnover. We have the chance to go up 14-3 potentially, and we fumble that ball. They go all the way down. It just it begins to change the narrative of where you're going. And then, they get some long drives. That one in the third quarter, 8.5 minutes, 15 plays, and now all of a sudden you look up and you're down 2 scores. And I think there's just enough element of, okay, we need to be able to score here, and whatever that does, things that have not crept up or that have had an effect on us did show up. And I do bring this up. I understand, golf, the 4 interceptions, but there was a number of things that took place in 2 of those that are, there's more than him, and I mentioned, what had happened on the first one, but even the second one, I've got to hit my back foot. Ball needs to be, I can't let it rip. I got to move up in the pocket. So it's just, it's a combination of a lot of things. And we were just a little bit off, and normally we can overcome being just a little bit off, and we just weren't quite there. Now, listen, the guys played hard. It wasn't the attitude, it wasn't the effort, it was just the little things. I mean, shoot, man, 5 turnovers, it's like, wow. If we only turn it over 3, we may have a chance. I mean, that's crazy. We're talking about 3. So, and I don't want to take anything away from Washington. I don't, man. They earned that win. They earned it. And, but yet, man, we shot ourselves in the foot. And we haven't done it. We did it that game. We just did.
Yeah. You shot yourself in the foot. And here's, I see what's going on in the comments right here, guys. I get it. I mean, you guys certainly aren't talking about me, because I believe that you guys have the right to be in here. Talk all the trash you want, man. It's your glorious day. Praying for the demise of your opponents. That's the way the NFC North works. So the last one standing. The Lions were the last one standing. Even though they had a bye last week, we were the last one standing. The other 3 fan bases were watching, waiting for the demise. And we didn't take care of business. Eat the crow. We don't need to make excuses. I'm not going to make no excuses. You know, when I look at it, and this is one of the reasons why I'm glad that, like, in this case, you know, I had a full 24 hours to process this before I had to come in front of y'all. And it's like, I'm proud of what the Lions did this year. You know, other than the last game, obviously, you don't want to lose the last game. Nobody wants to lose the last game. But I mean, and I know that everybody that's in here, you know, Sarah and Broski, you guys have the right to be in here. Talk all the trash you want, man. We talked all kinds of crap all season long, just like everybody that thought they had good teams. Blah, 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 blah. I'm going to be the greatest team. Oh, Jordan Love's the greatest quarterback. Oh, Caleb Williams is going to be the greatest thing ever. Oh, here comes Sam Darnold. Darnold Schwarzenegger. Here they come. You know, y'all had to eat your crow. You guys just had to eat your crows a week earlier than we did. We got to wait a week, and now we got to eat our crow because we are not going to win the Super Bowl this year. The Lions failed to win the Super Bowl. And if you want to throw SOL at us like John Dorn does, John Dorn, I'll respond to SOL. Yes, there is a brand new SOL in town. SOL, sweeping the Packers. Just becomes like regular stuff, you know. SOL, sweeping the Vikings. No big deal. Just happens every year. Just all the time now, you know. No big deal. Sweeping the Bears. SOL. Same old Lions. Just keep on sweeping the NFC North every time they play us. And I'm glad that you guys have your day in the sun right now. You guys are celebrating in the streets because we lost. You're in there celebrating in the streets, running through the town naked with your metaphorical ding-dings hanging out. Oh, man. It was devastating, man. I almost cried a little bit. And you guys deserve it, you know? Because the thing is 15-2 doesn't feel so good, you know? The Packer fans warned me, hey, you can win 15 games all you want. Doesn't make you feel good unless you get the hoist in Lombardi. And you're right. It does. It sucks. It sucks losing. You know, you put your faith behind the team and then they let you down. You know, we all got to experience that this year. None of our teams were good enough. And, you know, I talked a lot of trash about this Commanders team thinking that they weren't ready when the Lions weren't ready. The Lions are the team that didn't show up. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. I am being a good sport about this. I am on here, on a show here that's probably going to get looked at by more than 5,000 people eating my crow. And y'all did. Y'all deserve to come on here, you know? I told you I would do it. And I'm going to give you that crow. Lions get beat down. They weren't good enough. No excuses. 5 turnovers. You gave them the game. You know, but there's no reason that I'm not going to look forward and say like the window's closed or something like that. That's ridiculous. You're going to bring that offense back. All those interceptions weren't all on Goff. One of them was a really, really bad ball, but he was going over that. Other people made mistakes too. There's a lot of accountability that's in there. But yet, bottom line is you can't turn the ball over when you're in the red zone about ready to score. You know? So, but what's good? You know, when you're looking at the future. I know that there's a lot of you out there that want to see what it's going to be like having Aiden Hutchinson, Aleem McNeil, and Zadarius Smith, rushing. How much will that change the defense? And that's without adding any players. But, but it didn't feel good. And Sarah, we're the only team in the NFC with no Super Bowl appearances. There you go. They enjoy stomping on our ashes. Stomp on them. Stomp it out. Let it, there you go. The participation trophy. We had a participation trophy. Yep, the NFC North title. It's a participation trophy. It really is. Honestly, in every sense of the word, that it is. It's nothing to... that isn't really even a troll, because that's what it is. Because what does the NFC North title get you? Just by itself, the NFC North title gets you a chance to participate in a tournament for the Lombardi Trophy. Honestly, that's what it is. So, I guess I'm bragging about the trophy that got me into the playoffs to get wait a minute, here it comes. You ready, Sarah? The first round out. Bye-bye, Lions. Wah, wah. Better luck next year since 1958. Maybe next year. Oh, but it's going to be true this time. Why do we even have faith? I don't even know if Lion fans have faith. I don't know if the Lions have faith that they'd ever win a Super Bowl, but I know that Lion fans enjoy their team. I know that we love going to the games and we love our Lions. And we want to win the Super Bowl, we do. But, if that's the flex, you ain't never been to a Super Bowl, we're the only team. Well, we don't know what it's like. So we don't know what we're missing. What's that like? For Viking fan, what's it like to go to a whole bunch of Super Bowls and not win them? What's better? Is it better to make it far and lose? Or, what's better? Because I don't know. Going 15-2 doesn't feel so good right now. Just being honest. So here's a question I want to throw out to you. I want to know an opinion on this, because this really bothered me while it happened. It happened last year and it happened this year too. And it comes with the coordinators going out and interviewing for a different head coaching job on the off week of preparation for a playoff game. I don't know. Do you think that makes an effect? In this case, maybe not, because they did it on the off week, so they still had the 1 week of preparation. But don't you think that it's just kind of off, unprofessional for the NFL to allow other teams to poach coaches during a playoff run? And the second question is, do you think that had any effect on the game plan? Do you think that gave the Commanders any type of advantage? I don't know. Guys, be nice in here. Be nice in here. We're doing respectful Crow. There's a difference between, doing trash talk and then going at the people. So don't go at people personally on here. You got to understand, especially if you're a rival fan, you have to understand that you guys are throwing salt on the wound, right? And some people ain't going to take too kindly to that, just like you guys wouldn't. I mean, honestly, showing up on a loss does show some kind of character. And there's a lot of people in here that are trashing right now, that are putting in comments that didn't show up for their losses. I'm just saying, you don't show up for your losses and then all of a sudden you want to come in and start cutting the knife deep. You weren't in the fight the whole time. So, but the Lion fans are hurting today. But the rival fans, especially the ones that have been in here, Broski Bear, you deserve this. Bask in your glory, Broski Bear. The broski with the moski. I got to give it to him, It's like, now everybody's got to look forward to that future. Now I am going to go over the rest of this Dan Campbell stuff here. So let's get back into it before I get myself in trouble.
Well, yeah, I mean, you always want to give him more carries. You come out of a game like that, and he's had the carries he has. But we were pretty balanced. We were pretty balanced when you take away now we're in gotta-go mode. We're in 2-minute mode. Those are 20 of the reps or something, and so you take that out, you're left with 40 reps, and you're balanced. So it was really, we were having success really no matter what we did. We felt like we could run it, we could throw it, explosives, and then we turned the ball over. So the turnovers created the issue. All of a sudden you're down a couple of scores, and now you're out of what you really feel like you can do. So it's you really want to dissect it into more than what it is. Here's what it is. We turn the ball over, and then we get behind, and then we turn the ball over, and we get behind, and so it just, we couldn't overcome it,
The flip side of that, I know it's easy in hindsight to look back when a play doesn't work, but many people are wondering, it's 3rd down and 1, you have an offensive line, you have 2 good running backs. Why empty backfield set, and why not run the football in that play?
Yeah, we were ready to go for it on 4th, so we'd run it on 4th if it didn't take place. We liked the matchup with Saint on Wagner, and it's a play we've run, man, I don't know, 50 times this year, something, and it just didn't work out, and it was the perfect storm. It was, just a little bit of a slip. Goff has to choke the ball, then he moves up, we get beat. And protection on a 3 steps, not a 7-step, it's 3 steps. So it happened fast, and then disaster, So I'm with you. I don't worry about it. I'm not second guessing that. And if we were going to do it all over again, I'd do the same thing. So, and I know that's a hard pill to swallow, but it just didn't work out for us.
So good at forcing turnovers in the beginning of the season. Just 2 interceptions down the stretch, no takeaways Saturday night. What do you think kind of contributed to the limited production?
Yeah, it's a good question. But I'm with you. We hit a drought, We hit a drought again, and even particularly in this game, we knew we were going to need some takeaways, and we just couldn't get them. I thought we may get one on the long one. The Brown, Kirby was coming over the top, and I thought we were about to get that one, and then it comes away, and he gets an explosive catch out of it. We couldn't, man. We punched at some balls. We couldn't get them out. The interceptions really, other than that one I just talked about, we could never apply enough pressure to force him to get rid of the ball in a situation that was going to benefit us. But I know this, we must improve, and we did. It came in highs and lows, man. We had an uptick. We started low, we had an uptick, then it went down in the season, then it came back up, and then we lost it again. So we got to be much more consistent. Look, that team's been good with takeaways, and they did it again in a big way.
What do you have to get, what position group or whatever needs to improve the most, you think, going into next year?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I don't know if I should not answer that yet until I really do self-scout, and I really look at it, game for game, player for player, matchup for matchup, and Brad and I sit down and talk about, man, where do we really need the most help? I know this, when you come away, in hindsight, looking at this after what just happened, you're like, man, can we have enough defensive depth? Is that possible? You know, I mean, because we were loaded. You know, you don't think about losing ones and twos in every group down there. So, but you only have 53 spots, you know. And I just go back. Well, we're going to look at everything, but this is one of those bizarre, freakish years. It just, you know, you do the same thing you did a year ago, and you're pretty healthy. You know, and then this year it was one of those years. So, but Brad and I, we're going to get into that over the next 2 weeks. We'll really deep dive our roster. Where do we feel like we can get better? Because ultimately, that's what we want to do. We want to bring in more competition, and that competition has got to be right. It's got to match the guys that are in that room. I already told them I owe them that. I'm not going to bring in somebody that doesn't belong here, or doesn't endear themselves to their teammates, or doesn't believe in what we believe in. But they got to be able to help us and bring competition. We'll do that wherever that's at.
Bringing in healthy competition. Bringing in healthy competition everywhere. I think on the defensive side of the ball, I mean, he went over, gosh, I didn't think about that. A couple of the position groups, you got like the first line of the defensive tackles were gone, and then the second line were gone. And yeah, it was a lot of injuries. You can't use injuries as an excuse, though, because, you know, next man up. But does that give us an advantage for next year? You know, we only had Zadarius Smith, but we're going to start next season with a healthy Aiden Hutchinson. And I don't know if we're going to get Aleem McNeil back right away. But we do have some pending free agents, but I don't think that we have a lot of free agents that are, you know, in the core that we're going to have to re-sign on here. But just so you know, Sarah, I like that you're on here. I mean, I guess I'm too harsh when I'm doing my trash talk, and I don't want to. I would rather see you guys on here because I actually do believe in my faith, family, and football. I believe that the family should come first here. And, you know, I love y'all as people. Broski and Sarah, Bear Down Mike the Bear fan, Bill the Packer fan. We're all people here. I love you guys. I just hate your team. And this is your day. The Lions lost, man. But we can't say anything. I mean, it really don't matter. The sweep of the division, Sarah's correct in that. It is a participation trophy. You know? I mean, you got to come in here and say it. Yeah, we said, ha, you didn't win for weeks to them. Bear fans. Shoot, they've been looking at draft boards for the last 10 weeks. So it's like, this is their day, you know, especially Bear fans, especially Broski. As annoying as you are, Broski, you're dedicated, man. I respect that. And Sarah, I know that you've been out doing your own thing. I know that I personally rubbed you the wrong way, and I'm sorry for doing that. But this is your day. Thank you, Brandon. Brandon thinks that we're a great team. And you know what? When it comes with this stuff right here, how about MCDC crying like a baby after the game? I didn't like that. Act like a man when you lose. I love it. I mean, if you're not passionate enough to cry, then you're not passionate enough. That's what I say. Like, that shows passion in your team. Matt LaFleur crying, that ain't no weakness. These guys put their heart and their soul into this. Every single team, the ones that lose, ain't fun losing. It isn't fun losing. But the thing is like when we get into, you know, when I say that we get into a little bit of trash talking, we got to be okay with that, you know? I see people post all the time that say, y'all need to know how to act when you win. You got to know how to act when you lose. And we're learning. That's what we can do. That's why I'm here to help. But crying like a baby, when you put your blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, and they're probably going to start here in like March or whenever, when they get into the spring workouts. These guys go year round, man. It's like, you got to reset the season now, and then you start the whole process over in 12 months. Going for it. All the teams, man. Blood, sweat, and tears. Blood, sweat, and tears. I know that you guys aren't attacking me. You're attacking the hurt Lion fans that are biting back at you. And I'm trying to tell these hurt Lion fans that you guys have every right to bite in a little bit today. Because that's what today's all about. I Eat Crow. This is the I Eat Crow. Offseason starts early. Villain Report Special Edition. Brought to you by NFL Shop. You can scan that link right there, and you can save yourself up to 25% off of your order. I don't know if anybody wants to buy that participation trophy shirts right now. We did win the NFC North. It's like winning the sectional tournament. But they couldn't get it done in the big tournament. But Lion fan, here's where you can look ahead a little bit and feel okay about it, right? And I did throw that question out there a little bit. Or did the coaching interviews affect the game plan for the divisional round? And I am going to put my opinion on there, and I'm going to say that it did not. I think that the Lions lost that game. They lost fair and square. There was no competitive advantage. They didn't lose any focus, because I do believe Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn are extreme professionals. I believe that the interviews that they had, they spent their 15 minutes. They gave a brief overview to the teams, what they're going to be thinking, but they told that they are focused on winning. So I don't think that affected the game thing. I'm not going to make excuses like that. When it comes down to it, I'm not going to make excuses for injuries, even though there's two sides to this injury coin right here. Like, I'm proud of this Lions team for overcoming 21 injured reserve guys, most of them on defense, and still winning 15 games and winning the division. It's not the reason that they lost the playoff game, because it is next man up, and those other guys were trained and they were ready to go, and they lost. But it does make you ask the question, what is it going to be like when you get, all of those healthy defensive linemen back? Seeing Hutchinson and Zadarius Smith and Aleem McNeil and all these guys that are still with us. It's a healthy team. You want to be healthy, and hopefully they're more healthy this year than they were last year. And hopefully Dollar Store Bargain Brad, which I don't think that we need to do as much dollar store stuff, broski, for Dollar Store Brad this year, because a lot of the core, because let's go over that, because I do have a full list. That's one thing that I wanted to do about the free agents, and this is the last thing that I'm going to do before I let you go today. But we had some, and I got this from the Pride of Detroit, but the full list of the unrestricted free agents. And I'm not, underselling any of this stuff, but Broski brings up Bargain Store Brad, and a couple of these guys are on this list. But like Teddy Bridgewater, I mean, I don't know if they bring him back or not. I think that they should bring back Tim Patrick. That probably won't be an awful lot. You could bring back Zeitler. Like, none of these guys that are unrestricted free agents that I'm seeing here are, super high priority. Like, most of the core of the team is under contract. Now, you see, here's Marcus Davenport, Bargain Store Brad. Are you going to bring back Marcus Davenport? Levi Onwuzurike. Are you going to re-extend and bring back Levi Onwuzurike? Or John Kaminsky? Derek Barnes. You need to get and then all of these guys like Ben Neiman, they'll be able to retain some of these guys. Do you bring back Carlton Davis? Do you bring back Ifeatu Melifonwu? So they have a lot of decisions to make, but they're not high-end decisions, right? Carlton Davis, you got a couple starters in there that you got to make a quick decision. Do you bring back Carlton Davis? That's not going to cost you $18 million this time around. I'm sure that he would work with you on a price on that because he is that guy. Yeah. I mean, his injury, that's not an injury-prone type of thing, busting your jaw up like that. Honestly, it's evidence of a crime that didn't even get called out on the field. But what happened to Carlton Davis? But, Levi Onwuzurike, support player. Marcus Davenport, support player. You bring back Kevin Zeitler. I mean, you had him for a bargain basement price. He played really well. He's older. Do you keep him? I say you do, because I don't think it would cost you an arm and a leg. You bring back Derek Barnes. I think that would be a mid-contract. Ifeatu Melifonwu, do you bring him back? Another mid-contract. So, the Lions don't have gigantic holes to fill. This is a weird offseason as far as Lion fan. I've been covering Lions in one way or another for 10 years, really. Looking at every single offseason, going through, every ounce of information that's out there. And there's always giant holes for the Lions to fill. It's like, what are you going to do? They don't have glaring holes this offseason. It's just kind of like get talent and competition, right? But there's not giant holes to fill. I mean, I guess there is holes, but there's obvious answers that they just got to re-sign guys. I really do believe that most of these guys are going to stick around. I do believe they'll keep Ifeatu Melifonwu. I believe that they'll keep, Carlton Davis and Derek Barnes and Levi Onwuzurike. I don't think any of those guys. I think Derek Barnes might be and Carlton Davis, they'll get mid-contracts. Carlton Davis he'll get a veteran contract. Ifeatu Melifonwu, he'll get a veteran contract, but they're not high-end contract kind of guys. And if they do go get high-end contracts, then, those are the players that we're going to lose. One thing I notice about the regime is they got their core end of people, and, everybody else, they got their decisions to make on these secondary players, the, second tier players that are on their team. I would call them like, the quality backups. Let's hit these comments up right here a little bit. Broski Bear says our backups are better than other teams. Lions fan says amazing. Don't you think that they are? Lions won 15 games with their third string on defense. Like, I'm not making excuses of why they lost, but I'm definitely going to point out that our backups definitely proved that they were awesome. The Lions lost Aiden Hutchinson. 2 weeks later, they beat Minnesota. They beat Green Bay. They beat the Bears without their best players. I'm not making excuses of why they lost, but I can definitely say, hey, we beat you guys at half strength. So our backups are better than other team starters, broski? Yeah, our backups are better than your starters. So I don't know if that counts for anything. Our backups are better than the Vikings starters. They didn't. Hey, wait a minute. Dude, I acknowledge the loss. Hey, yeah. Yep, the Commanders came in and beat our backups. They did. They beat our ass. I acknowledge that already, broski. See, broski, you're always like stirring the pot. You just you want more out of it. What do you want? What do you want from me, broski? Our backups won 15 regular season games. It's a participation trophy, right? Not everybody goes into the playoffs with all their best guys. Actually, most teams have injuries. But in our case, it's like we had injuries to our top three our top three defensive players. It is what it is. I mean, we couldn't get a pass rush. It affected us. They beat us. And I'm glad that you took pleasure in a team doing something that your team couldn't. And the Lions haven't played in the Super Bowl. The Lions have not played in a Super Bowl. So offseason starts early for all these teams. And you know what's funny is I came in here to review the Dan Campbell press conference, and it's like nobody actually wants like legitimate football stuff. They would rather just talk shit to each other and talk about participation trophies and stuff. I got legitimate shit here. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the idea of the show and then move on. Yeah, I'm hurt, guys. Good. I'm glad. Do your touchdown dance. You guys deserve it. Keep going.
Obviously, some things will change, some naturally. Do you think there's anything fundamentally that needs to change, or are you one game can change what you stand for, what the team, what that philosophy is?
No, I don't see philosophy changing. I think what we are is what we are, and we've been that way since I've been here. So does that mean a couple of things get tweaked? You know, a couple of things will get tweaked, just the nature of having new coordinators, if that happens. You know, because you want it to be kind of their flavor, their style with it, but yet what I want is what we're going to do, you know, and what we're about and what golf's about and the runners and what we are on defense and the nature of the way we play. I want to play man, you know, you want to play man. You know, so I'm going to pressure a little bit. I mean, so these things are not going to go away. We are what we are. But ultimately, it's always going to be about how do we put the players we have in the best position to have success, which in turn gives us, you know, gives us the ability to have success. So, and no matter what that is, and sometimes that changes. Could be with free agency, could be with the draft. Maybe you're more in these packages than the others because that's your best players. But no, what we are is what we are.
Your potential coordinator search here, imagine it's something you've had to think about quite a bit, given the interest in Ben and AG. How do you balance internal versus external candidates? I mean, even with the way you built the roster, you seem to go with the guys you trust. How do you look at, looking outside the organization to find those guys?
Yeah, I think there is a balance. Look, the easy thing to say is you want the best candidate. Okay, that's one way to say it, but that's also like saying, give me the best player. All right, give me the right player, give me the right coach, give me the right coordinator. That's really what I'm looking for, more than if you're going to start slapping a best on them. I'll just give an example. A guy like Terrell Williams, I'm fortunate that I believe he's the best, but he's also the right guy. They happen to go hand in hand. But I think we've got guys on staff that I think are more than qualified and would be outstanding in those roles. But that does not mean that I'm not looking outside either. So I want what I believe is going to be as close to what we have been as possible. And we don't lose what we're about and our identity. And Wojo, like what you just asked, we're going to stay true to who we are. And if you're somebody that doesn't feel comfortable with that, then no, I don't. This isn't the job for you. So I'm not going to be in a hurry. I'm not in a mad dash. No matter what happens, I want to do what's right by our team. And what I believe is going to, those guys will be able to stand in front of that room and command respect and get everybody going in the same direction. And we'll ultimately deliver the same message that I'm delivering.
Ooh, I like that. Sometimes I feel like they don't say things that they don't just say things to say things right there. And he mentioned a name right there. Kind of surprised me a little bit because I thought it would be Kelvin Shepard. But I do believe that the next defensive coordinator was on the staff, but he mentioned that name, Terrell Williams, defensive tackles coach. And so much respect for this coach coming over from Tennessee last year. And it really did. One of the reasons why they were able to take practice squad guys on the defensive line and be able to manufacture 15 wins, they didn't lose their first stringers. They didn't lose their second stringers. They didn't lose their third stringers. They lost all of the guys that were in training camp to begin as defensive tackles. They were going into the practice squad. And Terrell Williams, defensive tackles coach, got them ready to go. I mean, yeah, I'm not expecting 20 sacks out of guys that, were hanging drywall a couple weeks prior, but Terrell Williams is a great candidate to be the new defensive coordinator if Aaron Glenn were to move on. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. There you go.
I mean, that's really important. That's obviously understandable. How much do you incorporate his voice into finding the right guy, if you have heard those things?
Yeah, a lot. I want his input, and to me, that's important. That's important. That's what Ben did a great job of, is working, those guys working together. And this system was kind of built from the ground up, and it was to help him and for him to be a part of. And so that's huge. He'll have a lot of input. What he says is going to says a lot to me, I should say. Now, is it going to be the ultimate decision? No, it's not. But what he says is going to mean a lot to me.
Some, including fans, kind of looking for solace by looking back at past championship teams in this area who got close, got knocked back, and then when they eventually break through. Do you think there's something to that stuff to be kind of learned? You mentioned Saturday night, for example. You didn't think you had them ready. I don't know, the extra week, the expectation with the number one seed. What do you think of that process?
I just go back to this. When you have the right guys and you're made the right way, failure only makes you stronger. Man, you only come back better. I believe that. And unfortunately, I've had a ton of those. But man, I think it makes you, God, it makes you hungry. I'll tell you the hard things is when you, I think when you have success on a certain level and trying to reload and do it again, that's why, I think what New England did for years and Bill Belichick, and that's unbelievable. That is unbelievable. But with where we're at, we had these goals, we fell short. Man, we met 2 of those goals this year, and in a sense, went above and beyond what we were a year ago, but yet we didn't get any further. And man, that's disappointing. But it also, it eats at me. That drives me, that motivates me. I got a text from St. Brown at 4 o'clock in the morning after that game, So I know the guys it eats away at, and they're the right guys. They're our guys for a reason. And that's what'll always give me hope and let me know we're only going to be better. We're going to come back stronger. We're going to learn from this, and it's just more fuel on the fire is what it is.
Question, so I'll phrase it this way. Do you want it to be this loss a bruise that heals, or do you want it to be a scar that you wear on your sleeve going into next season?
Well, I don't know. I told the team that just don't forget it. Don't forget it. I mean, you look across the field at the end of that game. Somebody feels good and somebody doesn't, and just remember that feeling. No different than last year. That's all. I mean, those are the things that you etch in your mind that you don't ever want to forget. And I'm the type of person that replays every bad decision, every bad move in my head over and over on purpose, just to let it burn and eat away at you, because that's the stuff that makes you not want to feel that anymore, is to go back for more. So we fell short. It wasn't good enough. The players are extremely disappointed. I know the fans are. I certainly am. But we will reload and we will be back.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a broken man right there. Dan Campbell's one of the best motivators that's out there. And it's like, there have been times when I've had the feeling in Lions history where it was like, that was the shot, right? And then you're done. And then this really isn't that, because you have these other glimmers of things that are going on where you're like, man, what would have happened if Hutchinson was out there? Oh, man, what would have happened if we would have had, Aleem McNeil out there and our complement of guys, and we're bringing back the whole offense. So there's reason to remain hopeful, but the Lions never won a Super Bowl before, and that's the ultimate goal. And one of the things that he said right there, it's like they met a couple of the goals that they wanted. And it seems like they've had so many of these side things that they've had going on. Like last year, it was like, oh, they never won a playoff game. Oh, Matt Stafford. Oh, like all of these side stories. And they knocked some of those out of the way. They won the playoff game. They hosted a playoff game. They hosted 2 playoff games. They won 2 playoff games. And those were just like these lingering 30, 40-year things that just kind of, just stinks. They talk about it every single time. Now they don't talk about, oh, it's been 30 years since they've been in the playoff. Well, now it's starting to become regular on that. But one of the things is they never won back-to-back divisions. They never won 15 games before, these things that got knocked off, and then they get into the playoffs and then they come and play. And point of saying all that is, now I don't think that there's any sidebar things that are in the way anymore. It's kind of like, now you literally win the Super Bowl or it's a failure. I mean, this was an opportunity. This was a failed opportunity. This is a squandered opportunity. I don't know how big this window is, but I'm just going to give you my opinion on this. And, you know, if I'm going to, I don't want to sound, I'm not a pessimistic fan, and I'm not going to be a pessimistic fan. That is not my style. I'm always going to look at the silver lining, even when it was stupid. I still try to bring up silver lining. I want to bring up, you know, good players that made games fun. But the window it's open. The window's open for the Lions to win Super Bowls. When you have a young team and you're bringing back the core of your team, you can absolutely win with Jared Goff. It's nonsense to think that you can't, because Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl, and Jared Goff is better than anything Trent Dilfer did. Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl. You know, Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl. And the thing is it takes more than one guy at all times. You got to have that perfect storm. Only one team wins a Super Bowl. And as a matter of fact, the real villain is Patrick Mahomes. I mean, all the trash talking that we all do in the NFC North, none of us won nothing since 2010. And that was the Packers winning with Aaron Rodgers, who is going to be out of the league in a year. So it's like Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady have owned the NFL, and we're over here fighting over the scraps. So in order to win a Super Bowl, you're going to have to go through a legend. You're going to have to go through a legend like Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. That's the level that it goes up to. Other than that, you have to just accept your defeat. And the thing is like 31 teams have this show. They do this show. And this is something I used to get a lot more emotional about it. And I even got guys in these comments trying to ag me on. And I'm not going to let you guys do this. It's like, you guys get to do this. Our team wasn't good enough. I admit it. I've eaten my crow. I don't have to keep on feeding into, y'all have no trophy. I mean, you guys can keep posting the same stuff over and over again. I don't mind. You get to do it. At least we have a participation trophy. We love participation trophies. Broski Bear wishes he could get a participation trophy. They just keep awarding him with a top 5 draft pick. And that's what you get when your team sucks. So, I'll take my participation trophy. The Lions never won participation trophies. They'd never won 2 participation trophies in a row. So, I never won a Super Bowl. I know. I don't know what that feels like. So, okay. I still love my team. I still think they're going to be good. I still think that we can be a dynasty. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to go into next season as the best running back in the NFL. I think they're bringing back all of the offensive linemen, every single offensive lineman that we have, and a +1 and a +2. I think 7 offensive linemen. I think that all of them are going to make it back. Belt to ass, are the Lions frauds? As far as Super Bowl, yes, they are. It was just proven. That's not even a question, belt to ass. There's the answer. Did the Lions hoist the Lombardi Trophy this year? No. So 15-2 is good for individual goals. It's okay to win 2 division titles in a row. You want to call them participation trophies? That's fine. That's still division titles. And Division titles give you a guaranteed spot in a tournament. And if you make the tournament, then you have a chance to win the Super Bowl. That's it. With a guarantee to have to go through a good team or two. You might need some luck or whatever you need. You might have to beat Patrick Mahomes. And it's okay. It's okay. Move on to next year just like all the other teams in the NFC North. Oh, move on. Move on to next year. And we're the division champs. We're the big fish in a little pond. But unlike the rival fans in here, I'm going to do something right now, which on my crow eating edition, I think the Vikings are a good team. I think they have a good young team. I think they're going to start this next season with J.J. McCarthy. And they'll move forward into this era of Viking football where they're going to play competitive with one of the best wide receivers in football. I respect Minnesota. I don't think they're frauds at all. Frauds to win Lombardi? Yeah, of course. There's 31 frauds. And we're going to find out who the other frauds are within the next couple weeks. But the Green Bay Packers, I think they're probably the most in trouble. They got some issues that they got to figure out. They got a lot of question marks. I'm not saying they can't be good, but they got some good pieces. But they got some work to do. They had some things that they thought were going to work out that didn't work out. You got a couple number 2 and number 3 wide receivers. You got a decent wide receiver crew, but it isn't as good as you thought it was. So Green Bay needs a solid number 1. They need an alpha. Jaden Reed's a good gadget dude, but he ain't as good as what y'all sold him to be, this awesome number 1 guy. You got good complementary pieces, but you need an alpha. I don't know what you're going to do on defense. You got a lot of questions there. You got to figure out what you are. As far as the Bears go, well, you're just going to keep being the Bears until your ownership decides that they want to win, and then they want to get on the same page as somebody. That's what they got to do. As far as the Lions go, I mean, we got this crew. You know, they're going to roll with this crew. This is the most solid that I can think the Lions ever being in the offseason before. So I'm negative right now because it really hurts losing. It really does. But Lions looking like they got a lot of cap space that they got some players that they got to instantly replace. But Carlton Davis and Kevin Zayat, they got some people that they're going to have to sign and move it down. But right now they're sitting at the $57 million in the cap space for 2025. Now, I don't know if that's before or after the money rolls over that they had from this year, because I know that money does roll over. But most of these guys are signed, man. This is the most, there's no glaring holes. You know, I think there's only a couple of spots even open on the offensive depth. So, as far as the future goes, the Lions are loaded. I like the future of Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch on the back end. One of the best duos back there. Jack Campbell going into his 3rd year. Alex Angelone's still under contract. You got, Aiden Hutchinson and Aleem McNeil and DJ Reed are still under contract for this year. Zadarius Smith, you just drafted Terry Arnott, and he'll go into a 2nd year. Amik Robertson's still signed. Still got you got Ennis Rakestraw going into his second year. So it's like, Mr. Oh man, same old Lions. Yeah, you're right, Mr. Intamin. Same old Lions sweeping the division. It's starting to feel just like regular. Beat every team in the division. Same old Lions. You know, winning 12 plus games, going into the playoffs. I can get used to this. Having a shot every year to win the to win the Lombardi. Hey, we're down, not out. I didn't see you at all during the year, Mr. Intamin. That just means that just means that you were hiding. So you came out of witness protection to say same old Lions. How original. But I came on here like a man. Throw your digs in. Throw your digs in. But if you want to say same old Lions is sweeping the division, I'll take it every year. I'll take it every single year because having a chance. The New York Giants won from the 6th seed. The Packers won from the 6th seed. Every team has a chance once you get into the dance. And when you win the division and your participation trophy, what a weak flex that is. I'd rather win the participation trophy and have a guaranteed shot at the strap. So if that's your flex, that we're bragging about a participation trophy, that's the first thing that's on the goal. It should be the first thing that's on your goal too. What are you letting us win? To make fun of us? It's okay. It's okay. I came on here like a man, not like all you guys. When you lost your games, a lot of you guys went into witness protection. You got to own these losses. Commanders were the better team. I eat my crow. That's what I do on here, and I'll take it. And thank you for everybody for commenting on what Dan Campbell is saying and the theme of our show. I love the rival fans. You have your right to come on here and make me eat the crow on here. But, I mean, you can tell about the intelligence of that fan base by keeping with the flow of what we're actually talking about on the show that I have prepared for you today and reacting to what Dan Campbell had to say.
Meek's doing well. And as a matter of fact, we contacted me this morning. I have not been able to respond yet, but he's doing well. And who else do you ask?
Anybody? I just want to make sure he wasn't in concussion protocol.
No. He's good. He's good. I talked to him yesterday, and so he's good. All right. Thanks, guys.
Right there. Just wanted to get with that. Amik Robertson had successful surgery. And that sucks, man. That sucks. I mean, you lost. You had so many guys that you lost on the defensive side of the ball. And it's something I had said a couple of weeks ago. It's like if we go into the playoffs again and we're depending on Kendall Vildor to take meaningful snaps in the playoffs, it's not playoffs. I mean, it's like I don't want to make excuses on that, but what are you supposed to do with that? You know, Kendall Vildor is not a starting level cornerback. But Sarah asked something, and right here, and I'll answer this question, and I'm probably gonna start moving towards the door right here. Now that we're all on the couch, who are we rooting for? And honestly, Sarah, with this, you know, I'm gonna stay on the Magic, and I'm hoping that Washington takes it all the way to the Super Bowl. You know, it's not like, you know, it would make me feel better to go down to the champs. So let Jaden Daniels take it all the way to the Super Bowl and win, even though they're probably going to get their Cinderella story stomped out by Saquon Barkley and the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm gonna root for Washington to do it, because I don't hate Washington. This was the one game where I was just kind of like, there's not a storyline to this. You know, I guess they beat us in 1991. But, I mean, I don't hate them that bad, you know? We play them like every 3 years or something like that. So, want him to finish the job. I think that would be cool. I think he's a good story. I think everybody can admit that Jaden Daniels is better than we all thought he was going to be. All the Bear fans should be besides themselves. I don't know how much you believe in Caleb Williams, but Jaden Daniels is the real deal. I don't know if Caleb Williams can do it, but I know Jaden Daniels, he's got it, man. I mean, in the big moments, cold as ice, man. He's accurate. He didn't sail very many balls. I mean, there's no excuse for it, man. How do you stop Jaden Daniels? They didn't answer that question. They forced Jaden Daniels to throw the football, and he did. He did well. Threw for almost 300 yards. And when it comes down to, if you want to go with the game, within the game, those 3 fourth down gets by the Washington Commanders were backbreakers. Any one of those 3 plays, you could go back to those 3 plays. If you win those 3 plays, and this is something that we've talked about here too, is like, what do you do in those big moments? And when you force those big moments, the team that forces the moment is more prepared. And they went out and forced some big moments. The Lions would have got those 3 fourth down stops. The game would have been, they wouldn't have got, they take 2 touchdowns off. I mean, you got to make those big plays. And that's it. The whole game. You're playing tennis, right? They're volleying it back and forth. You score some, I score some, where you got momentum, I got momentum. And there's 4 or 5 plays that change the whole outcome of the game. And the Washington Commanders being 3 for 4 on 4th down on those biggest plays, and they scored touchdowns on all 3 of those 4th down gets. Score points. That's just like, in the biggest moments, what do you need? What do you need? And they made those plays, man. In the biggest moments, it wasn't too big. They can go into Philadelphia and get that win because they just did it in Detroit. It's not too big for Jaden Daniels. He's not a rookie anymore. He's already played an entire regular season. And he's peaking at the right time. You know what's one of the most dangerous things about Jaden Daniels over every other quarterback? And this is the truth, is there's less than 1 year of tape on this kid. You got to figure out, I mean, and half of his tape was him still trying to figure things out. So you got years and years and years of data on Mahomes and all these other quarterbacks that have had experience in there. But right now, and it's only going to happen once for Jaden Daniels like this. He's going to have to work it next year because then you're going to have a whole offseason to study him. But in the moment, right now, Jaden Daniels has the element of surprise. There isn't like full years. We don't have a lot of data on him. And it happens like that. There's been some flash in the pan. I don't know if he's going to stay good. It's amazing because we've had, good examples of ones that stay good, some of them that don't. Robert Griffith III, how'd that work out? He had a great first season. Vince Young, he had a great first season. And then what happens? What happens is NFL defenses are really, really smart. And when they get 6 months to prepare for Jaden Daniels, he's going to have to learn something or tweak something into his game, or he'll have that sophomore slump. The flash in the pan coming back down to earth. They all do. They all come back down to earth. Some of them break through. The great ones break through. But all of them come back to earth at some point in time. Even Mahomes came back down to earth. You got to figure out the way that they're stopping you, and then figure out some shit to stop the shit that they're trying to use to stop your shit. Did I say that right? Oh, man, this has been a good conversation, man. I think that I'm taking you all the way to the NFC Championship game, and then we're going into off-season mode, man. I didn't want to do this. But, like, I'm gonna flex on this and say, I get to do this thing. And as long as the Lions are winning, I get to do this thing. But when we go into off-season, and last year I've tried this. I tried going live every single day during the off-season, and we got through it, but it gets to a point where you're talking about the backup punter. You know, you're talking about speculations. It just wasn't fun to dive like that. So what I'm going to do during the off season is we are doing on demand here. I am going to continue to record and release videos on a daily basis in one way or another onto the page during the off season. We're going to the off season, and what I'm looking for is some kind of theme for our off season, because you know, just going over the boringest of the boring football information isn't going to be excited to the masses. And I want to figure out a way to keep everybody engaged during the offseason. And it doesn't necessarily have to be Lions football related, because we're going to go into the off season starting next week. And I'll do a Super Bowl show, but this is the last week of Everyday Live until we get into training camp. So we're going to go through it. We're going to spend some time together this week. I'm here to eat my crow. This has been the Lion Villain Report with your host, Russell Wayne. That's me, baby, right? We're brought to you by NFL Shop. You can scan that code right there, save up to 25% off of your order. Doing that thing. Playoff football is over for the NFC North. Who are you rooting for this weekend? Right there. Broadcasting live into the Villain Squad Facebook page. And right now we're at, if Leon Phelps here, and I'm so excited. And then all the ladies left my apartment, and I was just left with my warm bottle of Kabakier, and the Leon's still going to stay until we get to 70,000. But yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Yeah. Christopher Walken was here to say, this is a Lions Villain Report. It's about the Lions and they're eliminated from the playoffs. But you should watch this at 10 a.m. until Saturday with Russell Wayne. Could be good for you. It could be good for your life. You can subscribe to the Villain Squad YouTube page at Lions Villain Squad. Shout out to the Detroit Lions News Podcast with Joe Chapp right there and your 80,000 people. Love you, brother. Appreciate that. The Huddle Sports Network on Roku. Broadcasting live. Thank you, Bill the Packer fan and Mike the Bear fan. Getting that thing going. Over 30 podcasts on there. Faith, family, and then football in that order. We use football. We don't let football use us. We use football to create memories and spend time with our family. We don't let football use us. That's going to be the end of my show today. All right, guys? May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you, everybody. This is the Lion Villain Report with your boy, Russell Wayne. God bless you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yo, the lies so that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. eyes closed, hands is open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like Lions was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet.
Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose when I get to, never lose, move on the move, but it's simple.
Never give up and we winning it maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision that pay me, it's never to sway me. Indigenous, maybe we winning is crazy.
Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.